There's not a lot of difference between conspiracy theories and religious faith. Like, sure, the way believers are organized and activated is structurally different, but conspiracy brains and religious types alike share sacred texts to find and protect a capital T truth. There's a comfort in believing something else beyond this plane, whether it's God or space aliens. In fact, as my Night Vale co-writer Joseph Fink pointed out to me years ago, stories of alien abduction, just like stories of seeing heaven, both involve going into the light and then returning, greatly changed to the secular Earth. And I'm not knocking belief in God or aliens, only saying that in a world that often makes no sense, it is comforting to search for some new model of understanding. We can never really know why God created us or why God destroys us, but knowing that at least one dude is in charge of all this life and death can help us cope with the chaos and entropy. Same with aliens. By believing that there are other similar life forms out there, we can say we are not alone, that maybe life on Earth isn't a fever dream but a planned community. Though, if you're asking me, I think the idea of alien visitors is ludicrous because no one can explain how they got here so fast from wherever the fuck they were. I mean, time travel is, I think, impossible. For all the proof of UAPs or UFOs or whatever, there's 100-fold more evidence of military aircraft being the source of these sightings. Plus, you add in weather balloons and drones in the age of smartphones and live streaming and engagement farming, you have a whole industry or megachurch, really, of people who want to believe. Please let Jesus be real. Please let Xenu be real. If there were a God, the world would make way more sense. The 1993 film Fire in the Sky is a real movie of the week style tale about an alien abduction based on a real account. And like a lot of these kinds of accounts, whether abduction or even like demon possession or ghosts, the story doesn't make a ton of sense. There are more questions than answers, and the deeper you dig, the more inane the whole thing seems. Still, the movie is both laughably and lovably corny in its sincerity around this abduction tale. I won't tell you this is a good movie, but it has a nice Act 3 set piece, and it is under 2 hours. Hi, Cecil.
Hi, Jeffrey.
What's the craziest thing you've ever seen in the sky?
Oh, um, well, just like last year, we had a night where we saw the Aurora Borealis here in North Carolina.
Oh, that's amazing.
It was so wild. I was actually at an outdoor concert, and so everybody was kind of like on a lawn listening to music, and all of a sudden, the sky was just brilliant purple.
Damn.
It was weird. And to top it all off, Skylink, Starlink, whatever that fucking
Uh-huh.
Elon Musk craziness went over top of us as well. So we had
Wow.
like purple lights and a string of like satellite. It was a wild night.
Oh, that's amazing. I've never seen the Northern Lights. Let me say it that
I
way.
I I was like kind of a bucket list. Like someday I'll do New Year's Eve in Iceland, or kind of because I think the the percentage of seeing it goes up in the wintertime from what I've read, but you have to kind of go to a location where that percentage is much higher. But I
Hmm.
never thought I would see it in like along the eastern seaboard of the United States.
Last spring, I was out in California in like Ventura County, Ojai, that's where it was. And we were all hanging out on vacation, hanging out by a pool. I just looked out west and I just saw just a fireball in the sky. Like it was bright red and orange, like smaller than the moon, but way larger than an airplane, like in the
Okay.
sky. And we were all staring at it, and it was shooting kind of diagonally upward. And we were all just staring at it, wondering, what in the hell are we looking at? Like, I had a brief moment of, like, hmm, well, here comes thermonuclear warfare.
Here
We've
we
launched the
go.
missiles, and then somebody looked it up on their phone and found out that there's the whatever SpaceX or something has like a test
Oh,
lab or whatever there. So it was just rocket launches in that part of California that apparently are somewhat normal. But we
okay.
were like jumping on Twitter and whatever, like looking for Instagram, looking for anyone talking about something in the sky over Southern California. But yeah, it turns out it was just like kind of normal phenomena. But it was freaky. I'd never seen anything like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
I had a moment like that kind of after college. This is kind of a silly, embarrassing story, but my friend and I were driving up like through Illinois, and like when you have kind of like trails of airplanes going across the sky, and especially in the Midwest where there's so much sky, and it was right at sunset when the sky was like really vivid, and we looked up and the optical illusion was things that were being dropped to Earth rather than things flying overhead of us.
Okay.
And we were convinced that like World War III had begun.
It's amazing. It's so amazing. But the brain just, I mean, listen, that's why we love horror movies. That's why we
That's
like
it.
things like this, because it sort of takes the way in which our brain cannot quite process anything out of the ordinary, and it heightens it in a way to make us scared. Um,
Overactive imaginations.
Yep, yep, and it's thrilling. It's really thrilling when you realize that you are safe, like that roller coaster ride, when you
Yes.
know that you're safe, that it's not going to crash, that you aren't in a true free fall. Feels really, really, really fun. I don't know if we got a horror movie this week.
Truth.
They did have that kind of like I said in the intro, like an Act Three set piece that is
Yes.
very alien abduction horror movie vibes. And that was kind of our one moment of real horror. But it did feel, am I wrong? This felt like
No.
movie of the week, right?
It felt like that. And I would like to issue an apology
Hmm.
to all of our listeners and to you, because when I was like, oh my gosh, this is supposed to have like one of the scariest alien, that was the fourth kind.
Oh,
That
okay.
was not this movie. That was the other alien abduction movie that I was confusing it with. Um, Not terribly. I mean, like, yes, I think the sort of the third act set piece brought to you by the creators of The Matrix
Uh-huh.
was like kind of the reason this movie exists
Yes.
and the reason why and I felt myself just being like, okay, come on, let's something's got to happen here
Yeah.
other than dudes will do literally be abducted by aliens rather than go to therapy is like
Yeah.
acts one and two.
I really
There
did.
is
I really
so
did.
much anger,
Oh my God. And so much like pent up maleness.
bravado,
Yeah.
just like I'm so mad at my situation that all I can do is work on the truck
Yes.
kind of feels.
Yeah. Yeah. There is kind of a shape of something in this movie that I find really interesting. And I think my brain was doing a lot of work in this movie to make it better
Sure.
in my head. I always
Yeah.
use the Die Hard 2 example, whereas spoil the end of Die Hard 2, Bruce Willis gets off of the hijacked jumbo jet, but on his way out the wing before it takes off, he uncaps the fuel line, which leaks fuel onto the runway. As it's already taken off, he
Hmm.
lights the fuel and it forms a
Hmm.
trail up to the plane and
Just
blows it
like
up.
straight up in the air. Yeah.
And my friend Rob at the time when we were in high school watching this just turned to me after the movie and said, I really like that movie, except I'm just going to pretend at the end like he gunned all the terrorists down and we won.
Yeah. Yeah. He just threw like a grenade into the plane in
Yes.
the end.
Yeah. And with this movie, I was doing a lot of that. I'm going to pretend like this movie really is going to explore a little bit more of the kind of like, it's going to explore the trauma more that this man experienced. It's going to explore more of these male
Yes.
dynamics and husband wife dynamics, and it's going
Oh
to
my
explore
gosh.
class a
Yeah.
little bit more.
Yeah, the small town America make like paycheck to paycheck,
Yeah,
blue collar, making ends meet.
yeah,
Now, I think in doing the smallest amount of research, because we're talking about alien abductions here
yeah.
from the 90s, there is just literally rabbit holes connected to wormholes, connected to mole holes that just you have to put down the internet at one point.
Uh-huh.
But what I find really interesting is that the actual Travis Walton, who wrote the book upon which this was based, hated this movie
Hmm.
because this movie turned the aliens into the antagonists. And his whole deal was he got too close to the alien spaceship. I'm paraphrasing
Uh-huh.
hardcore. Got too close to the alien spaceship and got like knocked down. Saw that in the movie. And then the reasons the aliens abducted him is because they wanted to heal him from whatever emissions that their spaceship created.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, you all took this thing that's like there are other ex existence of other things out there, and what they were actually like a benign existence, and the sake of Hollywood needed to have it be aliens bad.
Yeah. Yeah, it does sound very Hollywood of like, oh, healing him? That's boring.
No,
No.
no,
No, we need to probe his eyeball.
yeah,
Yeah, with some oat milk.
and some boba tea.
Yeah, that boba tea into his
My
mouth
God,
and yeah.
you get the grass boba,
Mm-hmm.
you get the jelly blobs. You've been abducted. But I found and he actually came out with another book after this movie came out. That was like, it's kind of just being like, I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
And Hollywood was like, nah, too bad.
Tough shit, yeah. It's when you write, especially for TV and film, you are gonna almost always, you're just going into a grab bag of archetypes, and
Yeah.
it's really important in writing to think about archetypes, like because you want to think as you're starting to build your characters, how will they play off of each other? You don't want to have three main characters that are all kind of the
Hmm.
same personality. They have to have differences or what have you. But this movie just kind of went into the archetype bag and then just put them on the page, but never really did the second step of how do they bounce off of each other? How do they play
Sure.
against one another? Like, how does the kind of forces, the electric forces between these two people, how does it change them? And in this movie, everybody just kind of fills a really stock role. There's a
Hmm.
town bully in Buck or
Yeah.
whatever his name is that like nothing ever comes of him. Nothing ever really comes of the sheriff. He seems like a good small town cop, but he sucks. Like none of his decision making makes any sense. The character, the James Garner character of Frank,
Hmm.
is sort of interesting in that he kind of, I feel like, kind of represents the way in which kind of national law doesn't care.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't really feel like anybody has changed other than the real basic, hey, we made up as friends at the end and now we're pals.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to open that motorcycle store together at the end. Who knows?
I was shocked that he was having babies with his new wife like less than a year after being abducted by aliens.
And having a full fucking meltdown under the syrup table.
Yeah. Listen,
Um,
if that shit is not 100% pure maple, don't bring that brown corn syrup near me and
no,
call it maple syrup,
absolutely not.
or else I will sit under your table and cry. Actually, not even cry. I'll just go like crazy eyes and just like have a convulsion.
A couple of the delights in this movie for me are seeing, peak DB Sweeney.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny because uh my remembrance of DB Sweeney, or not remembrance, my memory of him is what's the ice skating movie he did with Moira?
Turning point? No.
No, it's
Uh,
that he's the
uh, uh,
hockey player and
the
she's
edge, the edge,
yeah, the cutting edge or whatever.
cutting edge. There you go.
I remember that, and he plays this like he's like muscular Paul Rudd is kind of his look
Yeah.
in these movies. Like he's handsome in a very broish, boyish sort of way.
Hmm.
I think now he does. I forgot to look this up before we started, but I think now he does like voiceover for NFL films. He has
Oh,
this like I think Leif Schreiber does these as well. Like Leif Schreiber has this very notable,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
almost like bass, like deep voice,
yeah.
and DB Sweeney doesn't. He has a real common like boyish tenory voice, but I guess he's developed the rich
Oh,
baritone over the years. So nice. But also Robert fucking Patrick, our T2,
yeah.
Melty Steel T2
Yep.
as Buddy Boy Mike. And I found him delightful in this movie. I thought he did a great job.
I thought he did a great job, but this character was
Oh, nothing.
like, I'm like, what is, and I think that's more about just like looking back at what Hollywood was producing in the 90s
Uh-huh.
as like, this is what small town blue collar America is. And just
Yeah.
being like, no thanks. I'm full. I'm good. Pushed plate away.
It is not doing well in its depiction of small town, rural, white America in this movie at all. Well, let's start at the beginning. We've got what is our quote? Chance makes a plaything of one's life. Seneca,
Ain't
300
that the
BCE or
truth?
whatever. Yeah.
Wait, that wasn't a Taylor Swift lyric?
No.
Oh, weird.
So we get our credits in this like misty, almost like it looks moonlit forest, and it's
Yeah,
foggy.
gets brighter and brighter and brighter. But just kidding, it's a truck.
It's a truck. Oh, we also have the tag based on a true story, which we
Of
always know
course.
in Hollywood means it's not true.
It's liberties have been taken.
Uh-huh. So this truck is driving crazy, smashing into
Yeah.
everything, banging up its fenders, just trying to get away from something. And we get the tag, the title card or title timestamp that says White Mountains, Arizona. It's the town, I think the made-up town of Snowflake, Arizona, in
Hmm.
1975. And this truck peels into the Silver Creek Inn, and all these guys get out looking fucking shook.
Yeah.
So we have this gathering of men who are mostly the same. It takes me a
Uh-huh.
while to start differentiating.
It takes a minute.
We got steely-eyed Mike, our main man.
Yes.
We have the no good Nick drifter, Alan Dallas.
He's a bad apple, that one.
He is.
And you know, because he has long hair and wears a headband.
I like that almost nothing about this movie feels 1975 to me,
Uh-huh.
except for the vehicles. But like we get to David, who I had to look up his name before we started. It's David, but I kept calling him Glasses
Mhm.
because this man is
He's Ned Flanders.
he's Ned Flanders. He's wearing a flannel shirt, a fedora, and he's got those round glasses. I'm like, this man is from 1993. He's a
Yeah.
time traveler. That's your movie.
Yes. And his like flannel shirt has been like ironed,
Yes.
like pressed from the dry cleaner.
Y'all, this man is in grad school. He is doing a secret paper on the logging
That's it.
industry.
He's from Marfa, Texas. Played by Patrick Berg, who is, one of my like, I'm like, oh, he's so pretty.
Hmm. He is very
He's so
pretty. And then we've got young Greg, played by Henry Thomas
Yeah.
of E.T. fame.
Yeah. He's
And-
like, I'm a goofy teenager with little beyond that.
A little to do beyond that. And then there's also Bobby, who's just his whole personality is he likes listening to his handheld radio.
Uh-huh.
He has a very big hat and a very small body.
Yeah. Big hat.
Big hat, small body. He's got yeah, he's just a small he's a slight man.
He's a short king.
But
Short
This
king,
op-
big hat.
obviously by Mike calling in to the cops to report what happened to Travis has caused a stir at this inn, and it's caused the cops to come out, the sheriff to come out, and then they've called in a guy named Frank Waters, who is a sheriff from Montana who happens to be in Arizona.
Yeah. Listen, James Garner kind of
Yes.
saves this movie.
Yes.
Like if this had been anyone else, I'd be like, no, thank you. But I'm like, oh, James Garner, great. Classic.
He's perfect in this role.
Like he does all the work so well, you don't notice he's doing the work.
Yeah. He was a true plug and play actor. You could put him
Yep.
in any movie and he would give you exactly what you thought he was going to
Mm-hmm.
get you. I think later Nick Cage, who once Nick Cage become hyper aware of his own Nick Cage-ness.
Sure.
Was it Mandy that we watched where when they gave
yeah.
him direction in the bathroom and his big transformation as a character, and he's like, "Oh, you want me to go full Nick Cage?" And they're like, "Yes." And then he
Yes,
does,
he
and he's
does.
perfect.
Exactly.
Okay, so Frank arrives just out of no. I don't know why Montana sheriff is involved in this story. Why he's not FBI? Why he's not?
Right.
Why
Well,
he's
they're
not like the local sheriff? And these are the police talking. I don't know what's happening.
They're like, he's undefeated. No, never not solved the case.
Mm-hmm.
So we've called in this guy. I like the sort of like fake out where, like Frank Waters is like Detective Frank is like driving through the dark night and you see these like red lights and he looks up all surprised and like, nope, just kidding. It's just a train.
It's just a railroad arm coming down.
Just a train.
So Frank arrives to interview these boys after they close the inn, and he's talking to all of them. We've obviously our wild card is Dallas, right?
Yeah.
He's our guy who's just like he's gruff and standoffish and arguing with Frank. And Frank's like, "Are you the leader? Should I be talking to you?" And he's like, "No, Mike's our fearless leader, obviously." He's so sarcastic and so rude. Flashback.
Oh, here we go. And I find this, like the first question Frank asks is like, tell me about Travis. They're like, what? Like what happened to him? Like, no, just give me a little bio.
Uh-huh.
Which is kind of how we jump into our flashback of the relationship between Travis and Mike. Besties
Uh-huh.
from the beginning.
So cut to Travis on his motorbike, and we can tell that Travis, this is DB Sweeney, is
Mhm.
he's the fun-loving guy
Yeah.
of the two, of he and
He's
Mike
the
being
optimist.
yeah. And he's kind of a scamp, but lovably
Hmm.
so. He like was cutting through traffic on his motorbike, and hey, you kids on your motorbikes.
No.
And he's just waving, having a nice time, picking up donuts, waving hi to all the people in town. And he gets out to Mike's place because they're going to go on this, like, they've got a logging job.
Hmm.
He's trying to. I thought this scene was really interesting. And the movie just never quite gets off the ground with this relationship. But it's very interesting because Mike shows up and he's like, or I'm sorry, Travis shows up and starts talking to Mike about how things are going. Mike has just had a bad fight with his wife because she's like,
Right.
the bank keeps calling about our house. What
Hmm.
do I tell them today? And he's like, can we not talk about this right now? And she's like, well, we can talk about it when we lose our house.
And I got to work on my truck.
Yeah, like we can't have this conversation this morning before while I'm waiting for my friends to arrive so I can
Yeah.
go to work.
No, I need to work really hard on my truck and not process my feelings or take responsibility right now.
And he has, like a lot of people who struggle with being vulnerable and letting things out, they have friends, but they don't have
Hmm.
friends. And Travis is, I think, a person who looks open to being a capital F friend, like somebody you can share things with.
Oh my God. And Travis tries so hard. He's like, do you want a donut? Do you want to, no, something's clearly eating you up. Do you want to
Yeah.
talk about it? No, you're just gonna furiously work on, you know what? What if we did something good? Like we can fix up your motorbike. Doesn't that sound fun? Nope, nothing. And then finally, even Travis is like, all right, I got to get out of here.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to climb up your wall and kiss somebody who lives in your house, which made me very confused.
I was
Because I'm
so
like,
confused.
I was like, is he kissing Mike's daughter? Oh, that's his sister. Okay, okay.
We needed so much more context as to who
Little
this
bit more,
is.
a little bit more prep for that
Yeah.
relationship.
And this woman who plays Dana, Mike's or Travis's girlfriend,
Mhm.
so young, like she's
Yeah.
or young looking. And so I had the same thing you did, which I'm like, oh, wait, how old is this kid? Because the
Yeah.
other two kids are like 6 or whatever. And so, um, anyways, but he tells Dana in the windows, he hands her a donut, and he's like, hey, let's get married.
I'm gonna marry you, girl.
Yeah.
And she's like, what? I never. I mean, okay.
No one is equipped for anything, let
No.
alone what's going to happen in this movie to them. So they go pick up the rest of the boys out on the road. They get out to the logging site where I guess the idea is just cut down a bunch of trees. I
Yeah,
guess we're just clearing a
they're
path.
clearing and they have this like contract with the National Park Service, I think. And this is kind of like a big bone of contention and these sort of the realities of this based on a true story was that it's like these guys are really far behind
Yeah.
and they're struggling to make this work happen. And so like wouldn't it be amazing if there was an act of God
Mm-hmm.
clause in their contract that means that they could like get out of their contract? Wouldn't that be interesting?
That would.
But I think this movie needs to do like two things narratively, which is show how bestest of friends, the how two hetero males could be so connected, like Travis and Mike, because everyone's going to assume, well, 7 of you went into the woods and 6 of you came back. Or,
Uh-huh.
sorry,
Six and
six and
five.
five. Six
Yeah.
and five. And also, we need to establish these dudes all fucking hate each other. They are not friends. They are not co-conspirators. They are a disparate group of coworkers that barely tolerate each other.
Yeah.
Because why would people who can't even decide what country radio music station to turn the radio dial to ever come up with a conspiracy as intricate as alien abduction?
Right.
That's what needs to happen in the first act of this movie in order to believe the story.
Yeah, there's missing a lot of setup in these relationships, in what's happening with their job, in the the movie really doesn't want to question the veracity of the abduction.
Yeah.
Like the movie really wants to say it kind of doesn't matter whether it happened or not. We're just going to say, just go with us. Let's say it happened. What did it do to him?
Yeah.
But for this B plot of that's the A plot for a good chunk of the movie of what it does to the town, what it does to suspicions
Yeah.
of Mike. It just, there's no back and forth. We as an audience are just kind of left one-sided of like, well, I guess it happened. Yeah, of course it happened. I mean, I guess they
Seems
could
like it
reveal to
happened.
us it didn't, but I'm like,
And
what's the battle here? I don't really understand. Like habeas corpus, like what's the crime if you don't have a body?
right. And also this idea of telling it through flashback. I was like, I think what you're saying, like making it feel very movie of the week, is that everything is very face value.
Uh-huh.
The flashback is true, but like I kind of wish it had been more like a Rashomon, kind of like different people had different versions of the truth.
Yeah.
Because then it's a like, who do you believe? What do you believe? But it's all very like, nope, this is it.
I remember when we watched the Michael Crichton directed Westworld film.
Hmm.
And one of the things you said at the beginning when I was trying to wrap my head around like what that movie was missing. And you said it's missing style. Like it just
Yeah.
doesn't have a sense of style to it. And I think that's what this movie is too. And where Westworld was missing like a visual style, it was missing an aesthetic style. This one is just missing like just a style of filmmaking, like a point of view that was more than just template. Like it just
A
felt
series of events happen to average Americans.
there's
Watch
no
their story unfold.
Yep. Yeah, this feels like a storyboard. It feels
Yeah.
like they storyboarded it. The writers wrote each of the scenes, put it all together, and then filmed it. There's no like working it out. They didn't need the dough at all, is what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, that's good.
So they're out in the forest doing a bunch of OSHA violations,
Uh-huh.
like single people cutting down a 100-foot tall tree and then like with no clearance below, meaning like
No.
it's landing within 3 feet of another person.
Well, because Alan is bad. He's bad. He's bad. And he goes, Timber, I almost killed your ass. And now I'm going to menace you with my chainsaw. And like, we're going to put a whole bunch of here, 17-year-old. Look at you trying to be a man and work. Ha ha. Lunchtime.
It just none of this makes any fucking sense. There's like a brief moment, like this was the in the storyboard post note card on the wall. There was a moment where they said, "All right, well, we need to show how Mike and Travis are friends, but that maybe Mike doesn't totally trust Travis." So it's a scene where Travis says, "Hey, Mike, when this is done, we should go fishing together." And Mike says, "You're a dreamer and you're not ready for marriage." Next scene.
What? I know. He's like, why don't we go fishing and hunting like we used to? And he's like, remember that time you chased a bear? Yeah, that was crazy. We're never doing that again because I have money problems and I hate my wife.
All of that in parentheses.
You know what they say? Subtext is for
It's for
cowards.
cowards. Okay, so
But then somehow it's 10 o'clock at night.
yeah, and we're back. Yeah, we are we're late drive home.
Which I was
Really
like,
late.
I was like, how have they been working through dusk? That seems unsafe, but
That seems
okay.
real unsafe.
And they're driving through and I think we've kind of now left Mike's completely true, no questions asked flashback. And now we're
Hmm.
in Alan's completely true, no questions asked flashback because they're like, well, who saw the thing and what did it look like? And Alan's like, it looked like fire. And you know me, there's an imaginary bell
Hmm. Hmm.
lives right here, right next to my head. And whenever I watch a movie and they say the title of the movie, I always ring the bell. But they did not do it.
No.
They did not say it looked like fire in the sky. Oh,
So,
blue
so
balled.
close. We are almost there.
Almost there.
That would have been so great. It's kind of like the Korean film we watched early on in here, like when they looked out to the river and they're like, "Look, there's the host." I always
Guess
love that. That's when the title gets
guess
dropped.
who's coming to dinner? The host. That's a big monster.
So they see this light. They're like, "That looks like a fire. Maybe it's a plane crash. Maybe it's just the sunset." I'm like, "Look at the rest of the sky. Is that a sunset? You shut up."
Yeah, stop talking, 17-year-old.
Like maybe that the lights are. It looks like the lights are moving. And Mike's like, "Well, this is the only road out of here. So if we don't
Hmm.
get out of here, we're gonna spend the night in a forest fire. So we
Let's
gotta
go
go."
drive. Let's drive right through it. Now, here's the thing.
Yeah.
I do hate to say this, but if I was in that truck, I absolutely would have pulled a Travis and gotten out to investigate. And I think what's interesting and kind of like the again the heavy lifting that the characterization is like if Mike and Travis are such good friends, why did they leave? Why did Mike leave him behind? And this is the emotional story we're telling here,
Uh-huh.
making Mike the main character and Travis the sort of Horatio to
Mm-hmm.
Mike's Hamlet,
Yeah.
is like, if he's your best friend, why did you just fucking drive off? But in my mind, I'm like, I'm absolutely getting out for a closer look. I'm sorry. And you've got like Alan kind of like rolling up the window, like that's gonna do anything. Y'all, I'm taking a peek.
Yeah. I'm absolutely, you know me as the driver of a group of people.
Hmm.
I'm the other side where I'm like, we're not stopping.
Hmm.
Y'all take a photo, tell me about it later. My eyes are on the road. We're getting where we're going.
But
I
I'm an
want to be at that
Aquarius,
hotel by 3 o'clock.
I'm an Aquarius, Jeffrey. I need to like there. I'm already part alien anyway. I need to go check it out. What's the worst that could happen?
What could possibly go right, really, is the
What I
question
don't
Meg always
honestly.
asks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Travis gets out. I'm immediately, the tour manager and me is immediately mad at Travis.
You're like hitting the automatic door lock on a 1956 Ford or whatever the
Yeah.
fuck that is.
Yeah.
You're like, nope,
Uh,
nope, absolutely not.
um,
So let's talk about the alien craft in this movie
okay.
because I think it's kind of interesting.
Uh-huh.
Essentially, it's a giant avocado.
Yes. Yes. It's a cut open
Like it's
avocado.
a lavocado.
Yeah.
It is an avocado. Instead of a pit, it has lava.
Uh-huh.
It's a lavocado. I'm down.
I love it. I love it. I love the idea. This is one of the earliest alien films I can think of. I'm sure it wasn't the first, but in my mind, I was trying to think of another earlier alien film that really shows kind of like a dirty organic look
Mm.
of the spaceship. Like it's muddy inside that spaceship when we see it later. It's like
When we get to
muddy
the
and
inside.
stony
Yeah,
and
yeah,
things
yeah.
like that. And even the outside is kind of organic looking,
Mhm.
which I found
Like
really
it's
interesting.
yeah. Like it really has that like wrinkled edge of an avocado peel.
Yeah.
And you only see it like it's I mean it's pretty good framing. We've kind of got the pointing to image above your head.
Uh-huh.
This idea of like man being pulled upward by white light and you only see like the bottom half of the avocado. So you never really get a full glimpse of the entire thing.
Hmm.
And they're like, "Oh fuck, our friend is being beamed up."
Yeah. Yeah, his arms go backward, his whole
Yeah.
chest points upward to the sky. There's a bright, bright white light happening that just suddenly appears on him, and the light flashes and he gets blasted back, Travis does, into the dirt.
He only gets, okay, he gets pushed back like 10 feet.
Yeah.
I'll be generous and give you 20. He lands in like
Hey.
pine forested dirt.
Yep.
Yeah, like pine, like listen, if you've ever been to a pine forest, that shit is spongy.
Uh-huh.
And all of his friends are like, nope, dead. 100% dead.
This scene made zero sense to me. Like they had no idea what to do with this moment. They had no idea how to make it look like a guy who just fucking died.
Yeah.
And the
And I
fact,
think that's the thing. That's the moral, like what we're hanging the morality of the next act on is why'd you run away?
yeah,
Like you're a bunch of tough, blue collar, dirty jean logging dudes and one stupid sky avocado. You leave your best friend behind. Bad man.
yeah.
Bad, bad man. And you're going to feel so guilty about it for the rest of this movie.
I sort of I'm gonna play guy who gives notes on a script, but in my head, it's just what you need to do is the moment he gets blasted back, Mike floors it. It's like a force majeure sort of thing. Like
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
moment of disaster happens, and it shows that person's cowardice, right? It shows that person's sort of like
Yeah.
true colors in a moment that their first
Yep.
response is save myself, not my friends.
Yeah.
And I think they just missed it. For him to sit there and process it for a while everyone's shouting, he's dead, he's dead, go, go, go. To me, feels so much more calculated. It feels much less like a reflex,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and thus just feels like, yeah, that's kind of a shitty friend move. Like you sat and thought about it, and then we're like, yeah, we should leave a dead body behind
Yeah.
in a field where like I didn't see any blood, any aliens,
No.
any lasers, any bullets. Well, he does, after driving for a bit, stop, kick everyone
He's like,
out.
wait.
I'm going to go back.
This is another thing that I'm like, okay, so the three scaredy cats in the back get out the van. And David, our Ned Flanders,
Uh-huh.
for a moment is like, and he's like, no, I'm going alone. I'm like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Safety in numbers.
Yeah.
No. You have like your second tier friend who's literally like, I'll go with you. And he's like, no, I gotta do this myself because I'm so racked with guilt at leaving my very best friend behind. And he's like, well, I'm your friend too. And we're kind of you're just, how are we gonna know when you get back or what? You don't want a second pair of eyes on no? Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess I'll just sit here and with my thumb up my ass with these yahoos.
I was cracking myself up by when this scene happened of quoting Robert Browning of like, draw breath freely outside since all is o'er, he said, and the blow fallen, no grieving can amend. And I just was like, what is this scene? Like, it's so dramatic. He's like, I'm like, I'll ride with you back to the thing. Like,
I know. You drive, I'll look.
I'll help. And I guess they're going with this moment that there is some doubt
That's it.
about Mike because he was
Yep.
by himself when he went back and then
Yep.
Travis was missing. But again, they never play up the distrust of any of his friends. Like, if you're going to do this scene, I need scenes later that show how his friends talk, like David and Bobby and Greg or whoever are like, hey, man, like,
Hey, do you
didn't
really
it
trust
weird?
Mike? Yeah. Like
That he
Mike
was like
went back
everybody
by
out?
himself?
Yeah. But they don't do anything with it. So I'm like, what? This scene is
Simple.
just so dramatic.
Simple American men. You can trust them at their word and a handshake.
Yeah.
And you know, like, hey, are you gonna fuck us over? You know what? Here's my hand. I'm gonna shake your hand. Oh, absolutely, I trust you now.
Oh my God. I laughed so hard when they're talking to the sheriff. And I'm like, that is true. If you ask a cop if they're going to be honest with you, they have to be honest with you.
Especially if he looks like Boss Hogg. Hey, boss hog, you're not gonna fuck me over, right? And he's like, nope, I sure as hell won't. You're like, good enough for me.
So back at the end, Detective Frank does not believe them very clearly. Dallas is like, "Can we go home?" And
See, here's the thing about Dallas. I get the impression Dallas has been fucked over by the system
yes,
so many times. Like you're like, yes, he is an asshole, but also you get the impression the system has made him an asshole because a
uh-huh,
lot of the shit he says, I would be saying as well, maybe in a different tone of voice, but I'd be like, I don't trust these motherfuckers.
yeah,
I don't owe you shit.
yeah,
This is our story. Good night.
yeah,
You can't hold me, motherfucker.
yeah.
Oh, you want my name and phone number? 1-800 kiss my ass. Good night. Where am I staying? Find out.
But Frank is convinced that the whole thing is just just a cover up from probably a murder. When the sheriff says we'll
Which,
start our search tomorrow, and Frank says, "I
uh-huh.
bet you'll find Travis, and I bet he won't be in one piece."
Yeah.
And he finds a copy of the Inquisitor
Oh my God. Did they
tabloid.
actually say the Inquisitor because they couldn't say the Inquirer?
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, and the top headline is "Boy Captured by Aliens," so that's proof to Frank. It's murder,
Now,
plain and simple.
now this is actually kind of a thread that I think is kind of from the truth of the story, which is like people have painted the real Travis Walton and his entire family as being obsessed with aliens.
Uh-huh.
And apparently there was a like literally a made for TV movie about alien abduction the week leading up to Travis's supposed alien abduction, which the police were just like, these guys needed to get out of their work contract. And they were like, hey, I just saw this movie on ABC
Uh-huh.
starring Brooke Shields or whatever, because, every made for TV movie had Brooke Shields in it
Sure, sure.
around that time. What if we pulled one of those?
Yeah, I had read that there was another person that had somebody who had worked on the film, I believe, even who had worked on the script, said, there's just a sense that of not believing the actual story if you look closely at it,
Yeah.
and maybe it wasn't for any nefarious purpose other than Travis was fucking around,
Hmm.
got these guys all scared in the woods, and when they bought into it, he just stuck with the script. Like he
Yeah.
pushed it too far,
Caught in a lie.
caught in a lie, and
And
so
then
he
you
just
rode that lie
perpetuated it.
until you die.
Yep. So, yeah, the next day we're getting this search party, and this is where we find out Dallas has a criminal record, and he was
Uh-oh.
fighting with Travis on the day of the last job.
And they covered that up but the 17-year-old was like, yeah, they didn't like each other. They had a,
A
you
chainsaw
know,
fight.
they touched tips
Uh-huh.
of their chainsaws.
But oh my gosh, he's got a criminal record. Are you for real? Are you talking about like
Surprise.
just a guy who works odd jobs and has no home and just
Crazy.
drifts from town to town might have been picked up by the police at some point in time?
And then when everybody in the town is like, if you this is all your fault, Mike, you hired him. I'm like, listen, they are literally just cutting trees in the woods. Like, you're not doing a fucking background check here.
No. No, and that type of like paranoia feels way more like middle class suburbia distrusting
Mm,
these people as opposed to like this is a working class town. These are working class guys. They know how the system works. Now they may believe some shit is up, but for them to look at Dallas and be like, he's the one. I'm like,
yeah,
no, that's if Alan Dallas wandered into a suburb or
sure.
if Alan Dallas were not white.
Yeah. They're
He
like,
is white,
my pearl earrings
working
have
class.
gone missing. It must be
Yes.
the person who doesn't live here.
Yeah. Yeah, they find some bones. They found bones. Here it is. No,
Oh,
it's
it's
just
just a
some
dog.
hunter buried his dog.
Also, like the other thread that I think was just like not just dropped is like at one point, I think it's like Greg and I don't know, two of these white boys
Hmm.
walking through the woods. and they see like kind of a glow
Mm-hmm.
on the side of the mountain. They're like, "What the fuck is that?" And it's like a Native American dude who's like clearly looks he's like, "Am I gonna get fucked with?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, yeah, this is like we're right up against the reservation here." And then later they're like, "Oh, these," I think the reporters like, this area of the mountains has long been reported by the Native Americans for things coming bad luck,
Mm-hmm.
kind of area. And I'm like, you didn't think to ask the one person who was on like half a mile,
Uh-huh.
quarter mile away in the woods, maybe what he saw? No, I guess it's a dead end, but you didn't even try, which is my whole thing.
This Apache man is strictly in the script to create a sense of supernaturalness.
Hmm.
That's it. That's all he represents to the
Yeah.
screenwriters and the director. Yeah, the idea that he's an actual human being that might have witnessed something that lives
No,
close by. He's the
no.
closest neighbor to the site where this supposed abduction happened. Like, what did he see? What is he? Yeah, nobody, from the loggers to the cops, like, nobody actually knows how to do a job.
No.
We've also, yeah, there's just a bunch of characters that are thrown here. Like Travis's brother is mad at Mike for whatever, like
Which
obviously because Travis is missing, but like
I was like, what? Like you took him out there, and I was like, it's
he
not going to
works
it.
with me.
Yeah. But I think word has now gotten back because when you have Frank kind of grilling the dudes at the roadside diner, the diner owner and like a waitress are just fully sitting up at the bar,
Uh huh.
eavesdropping this entire police procedural. So naturally, everybody in town knows the entire story. And I think it's this again, this movie is really much more about the cowardice that Mike feels at having left his friend behind. And that's why the town turns on him.
Uh,
When I kind of feel like this small town, everybody knows Mike, pillar of the community, as they say the words pillar of the community. They're like, well, I know Mike. I mean, if he says aliens, then I kind of believe it. But everybody has this sour taste in their mouth over Mike because everybody knows he left his friend behind. And that's the unspoken bro code that has been broken.
yeah, yeah. That's it. Like most arguments among people, the bad feelings left afterward are not about the thing we disagreed on. It's about the tone we took with each other, or
Yeah.
it's about something that
Or
happened
it's about the
long
thing that was
ago,
unsaid.
something that was unsaid, something that happened in the past or in the near past. It's almost never about like, oh, I'm so mad at Cecil because he thinks the Yankees are good. I'm like, no, no, we argued about baseball, which had something to do with something else happening,
Hmm. Yeah.
which would be really weird if you and I got into a fight about baseball.
I think it'd be amazing. We
I
should
think
try
it'd
it
be so
sometime.
fun. Yeah, it'd be so good.
Wait, give me
Um,
1 second while I learn what baseball is.
okay, sure.
Okay.
Okay, so I also love in older films, older TV shows, things like that, like from the especially like in the 70s and 80s when I grew up, there's a we're still holding on to this archetype of the nagging wife.
Oh God.
And
These fucking
what's funny
poor
when you
actress.
watch these women in these older shows, the screenwriter and director are very much like, you're a nagging wife.
Hmm.
And then when you
You're
listen to her, you're like, no, she's a reasonable, rational person who's tired of her husband's bullshit.
well, and it's also like we never get a scene in which Mike tells his story to Kitty, his wife.
No.
Never. It is shorthanded into, you know what I told you? And I'm like, what if?
Uh-huh.
What if? Just spitballing off the top of my head here. What if there was like some sort of, I don't know, support, communication, anything? But I think it's like they they were so bound by well, we know these people in real life get divorced.
Uh-huh.
Therefore, we have to lay the seeds that this marriage is so fucking dysfunctional Well, the main character is kind of our dude, so the nagging wife has to be his wife rather than a woman who's like, so you got abducted by aliens.
Uh-huh.
I can't say I don't believe you. What I'm more interested in is how are we going to feed ourselves?
Right.
Because you've now been fired by the National Park Service or whatever.
Yeah, she says the ALI called, and because of all of this, Mike's been removed from the job, but also because you're behind on this work.
Yeah.
And also, she's really mad. And I think they really try to play this up as her being like selfish and image conscious. She's like, plus, everyone in town is saying nasty things about our
Yeah.
family. But it's not an irrational thing to be upset about because you're like, my kids go to school and they're like, your
Yeah.
daddy's a murderer.
Yeah.
You're like, they can't be growing up with that shit. And you're not, I know something bad happened, but it's very clear that Mike does not open up about any fucking thing.
Anything. Like he's either like taciturn, silent, working on the Ford, or he is like screaming in your face,
Yeah.
how dare you? Let's take this outside.
Yeah. And yeah, she's basically kicking him out and he's going to go stay in a motel, which is seems like a bad plan for Katie, his wife, to do that. Like I get the feeling of I don't want you out in this house, but the idea of him going to stay in a motel is like, oh, let's spend more of our money.
Yeah. Oh my God. Absolutely. I didn't even get it was her. I think it was more I got the impression it was more Mike being like,
Oh, it
I
was
can't
him.
stay under this house with
Okay, okay, yeah,
my
okay.
wife who's asking me questions about whether or not I'm a murderer or not. Fuck this place.
But he ends up at this motel where it's the manager of the motel tells him, we got like media staying here. Like this place is booked because of your story.
And I think this is an interesting moment in time because it's like what stories get picked up and go wide is really important at this time and really interesting and why it's this is kind of the level of like why are abduction stories UFOs kind of the lead us to the doubting uh you know molder of the
Uh-huh.
X-Files is that like you either have the National Enquirer or you have like Tom Brokaw.
Yeah,
Those are your choices.
yeah.
So for something that is so unusual as a UFO abduction story to be national news is unusual.
Hmm. So Mike is going to meet the next morning Raymond Menendez from Action News Phoenix,
Mhm.
who's very smarmy, news anchory type of guy.
But is he?
I mean, he gets off on the wrong foot by trying
He
to
gets off
be
on the wrong,
cute.
but again, it's like, is there a right foot with Mike?
No, there's not. But also, yeah, I don't mean to say that Raymond Menendez is a bad character. Or a bad person.
He's not like he's out for the scoop.
Yeah,
And he's not like, I'm sorry, Mr. Rogers, you're having a terrible time.
would
Do
you
you
say it's
have
a
a
rough
moment?
day in your neighborhood?
I know. And he's like, Mr. Rogers joke. No, that you didn't think that's funny? Okay, well, I'm just here trying to do a job, sir.
Mike is also going to run into Jarvis Powell, who is one of the people who knows the truth out
This
there.
shit is wild.
This is like he looks like the glasses, the guy, the Nazi with glasses in
Yes, he
Raiders of the
does.
Lost Ark.
He absolutely does.
Yeah,
And this storyline also kind of goes nowhere.
yeah. I mean, it goes somewhere, but that somewhere is really stupid. When he shows up later, I'm like, Mike, you found your brother naked and starving in the rainstorm and scared of human touch or contact,
And
and
the
you
first person
called
you
the
called?
alien guy?
The first person you called?
That's the
What?
dumbest shit I've like. It's the most inexplicable, like unforgivable moment
You
in this
didn't like
movie.
take him to a no? First person is going to be like, "Hey, that that stranger that I met on the street corner that time who's into what is it? Afar? No,
Yes, afar.
afar. He's the one who can explain what's going on. But we're also not going to like let him do the thing. We're just going to scream over top of him because
Yeah.
my best friend is clearly traumatized by being alien abducted.
Again, when you write from a storyboard or an outline, you have to smooth things. You need to knead your dough for 10
Mhm.
straight minutes and then let it
Yeah.
rest
Yeah.
before you work any more on it. Like
And you got
that's
to use both
how,
hands.
yeah. And this movie is just like, what if I took flour, eggs, water, yeast, put them into a bowl, just stirred it really hard, formed it
Bake
into
it.
balls, threw it in the oven.
Yeah. Bake it.
Yeah.
Bake it up.
Okay.
The
So,
townspeople are pissed.
yeah, Buck is like, you want trouble? I'll give you trouble,
Who the
little
fuck is this?
glasses.
Who is this dude?
I don't
Like,
know.
just like the town grump. But like, why does he have any skin in this game at all? I don't understand. And it's like people are starting fights, and like, Boss Hog, Sheriff Blake is like, "Hey boys, you need to cool off. You see this little old lady's carrying a plate of hot eggs. You can think about her. Just sit on down. Get on down, you boys."
That's a,
Like,
this is the worst live action remake of King of the Hill I've ever
isn't
seen.
it?
Yeah.
Y'all thought that new season of King of the Hill was going to be weird, but you didn't expect alien abduction weird.
Yeah, Frank shows back up and kind of tells Mike, listen, I mean, I'm pretty sure you didn't kill your friend, but I cannot find out why you are covering it up.
For asshole.
Yeah.
And they're like, fuck, now we got to go talk to the asshole. But you know
Yeah.
what? Hey, what if we made y'all take lie detector tests? Don't talk to a lawyer. No need to talk to lawyers. No, the lawyers don't exist in Arizona. I don't think, I think that's factual, especially not in
No.
northern Arizona. They certainly
No.
do not. Nobody to advise you. We're going to make you take some lie detector tests. Do you want to take a lie detector test? And they're like, we got to think about it. I hear that as a no. So peace out.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we just want to, let's go, let's go find Dallas. Oh, Dallas has disappeared, but I kind of secretly know where he is. And again, it's like Dallas is living with a bunch of like kind of like Latin
Mexican
farm
migrant.
workers. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Mexican migrant
Mexican
farm
farm
workers
workers. Yeah. Latin
who
farm workers.
you're like, I'm sure have not had the best relationship with
Uh-huh.
Sheriff Boomhauser and the,
Yeah. Sheriff Boomhauer.
you
Yep.
know,
Yeah. No.
and fucking, FBI light Frank Waters.
Yeah.
Like,
But also, they
and
can't have a great relationship with Dallas either because he's at the table drink. They're giving him beer to drink and playing cards with him and welcoming him into their trailer. And he's like, "Can y'all just speak American, please?"
I know.
I'm like, "What?"
Jesus Christ. From the moment that like the little like little Barney Fife guy at the very beginning was like, "Hey, didn't you solve that wetback murder or something?" I was like, "Oh
What?
no. No."
Again, this movie is just throwing shit against the wall, but it's not deciding what it wants to explore.
Yeah.
And so,
Well, it wants to explore the plot.
yeah, that's all it wants to
That,
do.
and I think that's
Yeah,
it. It's like, here's the plot, which is why it has this very like movie of the week kind of feeling. They're like, plot A leads to B, leads to C, leads to D, the end.
and it's super not interested in Alan Dallas's story, which I am, like you, very interested in his story. Because when you see a guy who's that much of an asshole, but is sort of cooperating, but is like, I'm like, what
Hmm.
is your deal? Like,
Yeah.
what is your relationship? And and I think that they're not interested in that. But by the way he treats these migrant laborers, these Spanish speaking men, that it's you're like he. I would think he would clearly have some type of working or decent relationship with people in the same job as him. Now, he may have American citizenship,
Right.
but it doesn't, like, I don't know, like, explore
But he's
this
bad.
character. What's a
No, he's
character?
bad.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yep.
He's bad.
He has a criminal
And bad
record
people
and
do
he's
bad
racist.
things.
And, yep.
Yeah. Bad people do bad things all the time.
Yeah. Boy. So we have a showdown. I love this. It felt very improvised.
A
I'm
bit.
gonna fight you scene between
Yeah.
Dallas and Mike, and David has to split it up. Be there. Be there.
Listen,
Uh-huh.
be there now.
Be there now.
Be there so hard you lose your bandana. Be there.
Uh-huh. But they want Dallas to take the lie detector test with them. And
And his whole thing is he's like, I don't trust this machinery. They're gonna
yeah.
like, and his whole thing, he's like, someone who has been on the wrong side of the law is like, they're gonna set it up so we lose.
Hmm. They're
Now
going to set
listen,
it up so I lose.
yeah, they're like you, Mr. Pillar of the community, you, Ned Flanders, like it's only a matter of time until you all think, this alien story is getting a little weak. What if we pin it on this guy? And then I'm going to be the one, and we're going to have this idea of corruption. And I'm like, he's not 100% wrong.
He was 100% correct. Yeah, I mean, listen. I will say, to be fair to the state of Arizona, they've never had a history of bad sheriffs.
No.
Famously bad sheriffs that
Tell me,
everyone
tell me
is.
more.
So yeah, there's even like we cut to like the bar, like the town is stirring up, right? We
Oh my
cut to
God,
like
this
the
fucking
bar.
town meeting. Shh. This town meeting, you know
Oh my
what this
God.
is? This is like watered down Field of Dreams.
Yeah.
You know, you know what scene I'm talking about in Field of Dreams, like at the public
Uh-huh.
school board, like
Uh-huh.
kind of set the bar
Yeah.
for like middle America
Uh-huh.
town hall meetings, and you've got the kind of like, like well-meaning liberal blue collar Americans versus the like religious bad,
Yeah.
close-minded people.
Uh-huh.
But this just, what is happening here, Jeffrey?
This is such a naive worldview that we definitely have long since passed out of this era of hopefully well we haven't people still think this way, but it's this belief that if you just say it articulately enough, you're being a big old jerk.
Yeah.
At last have you no decency, sir, is never going to work. Like, and it didn't even work in the McCarthy era
No.
when Walsh, was it Joseph Welsh or Walsh who said that to McCarthy? Shit had already been dying down. We had already kind of
Oh yeah.
turned against McCarthy by the time he
Yeah.
said that. It's just that quote gets thrown up like this army guy stood up and hand over heart said, "At long last, have you no decency?" It's like that's I don't even think the exact quote, and also we were already kind of done. But that's what
I mean,
Mike
well,
does.
honestly, there was a woman who kind of like brought a bill against them, but they're like, no,
Yeah,
we're not going to listen to this woman. We need this. Oh, this man said it. Psh,
yeah,
yeah, he's cooked. He's over. My
yeah.
favorite part of the
Of this
scene
scene.
is
Okay,
when
yep.
literally a woman stands up and says, "Won't somebody please think of the children?"
Uh
She does
huh.
not say those exact words, but she really does.
My kids are scared. What are you doing about it, Sheriff? What?
I'm not. I'm not your baby daddy.
Yeah.
Like, how am I? Like, they said there's aliens. I don't know. Tell your kids. I mean, flying spaghetti monster can't be too far off from your belief system.
Yeah. And Mike says, he literally says this when he overhears all of these people saying shitty
Oh
things about
God.
him. He goes, "Hold it right there.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it.
What are you saying, George? You saying I killed Travis Walton? I'm disappointed in you. What are all of you doing?" Like, this is the tone of it. And everybody kind of has a somber look in their face, like, he might be right.
And he names them out. He's like, my kids go to school with your kid. Steve, Brad, Tommy, little Tommy, you Mrs. Walton, not Walton, you Mrs. Packer,
Mrs. Baird.
Mrs. Bayer, you babysitted me, and this just had this like little lady like I can't even look him in the eye. He's calling out my shame. I thought he was a murderer until he stood up and pointed at me, and now I feel bad for having those doubts.
Oh, I love that you brought up Field of Dreams because that's exactly what this movie's trying to do. Like, this is such an old school Americana thought that, like, in these small towns, people gather in a church, a local leader kind of
Hmm.
leads a talk about what are we going to do about the thing facing our
Yeah.
lives, which in essence still happens. It's just not
Oh yeah.
quite this overly dramatic. But I just I just wrote down NPCs. Like that's everyone, like all of the characters
Kinda.
in this town are just NPCs. Like when you're in a video open world video game and you're talking to people in town, like nothing makes any sense. If it does make sense, it's so heavily scripted as in like, I need you, I know you're on a quest to fight the Black
Sure, sure,
Knight,
sure. Yes.
but I need you to find my toy.
You're like, who the fuck are you? Who are
I
you?
last saw it at the market. You go to talk to the market. Well, the oranges sure are good today.
Okay.
I saw little Tommy with his toy running up into the forest.
Yes. Okay. Well, there it is. There's
That's
the
what
clip.
this movie plots like, and that's what this whole scene is.
We're dogging on this movie so hard, Jeffrey.
Oh, it was so frustrating to watch because I'm like, I know something is going to happen that's interesting. I mean, this was all interesting
It
because,
was. But I think maybe not interesting because of why the
yeah,
filmmakers made it interesting, but it is like the gift of time has made
uh-huh.
it interesting.
Yes. Oh, that's such a nice way of putting it.
You know?
This movie received the gift of time and made it kind of
And
fun
we
to
go,
watch.
oh dear. Wow.
Listen, I'm gonna rank this script above The Virgin Witch, which we watched for this show.
Oh, really?
I think so. The Virgin Witch as a script makes no sense, but The Virgin Witch was fun as hell to watch because it was
Like I was gonna say,
bonkers.
spoiler, as a horror movie, I'm gonna rank The Virgin Witch above this
Oh
movie.
yeah, oh, you should. You absolutely should. I just meant in terms of script writing because The
Yes.
Virgin Witch
No,
was
that
nonsensical.
but again, the 1 star, 5 star challenge.
Yeah, it's
This
true.
is a like this is a hard this is like a 2.5 star movie.
Yeah,
But it's like it's not bad enough to be a 1 star, which you're like, my brain is melting. What is happening? And I'm getting enjoyment from that sensation.
yes,
But it's also not good enough until the 20 minutes we actually get inside the fucking spaceship, which is like pretty fucking riveting. I'm not gonna lie. But
yeah.
man, you have to sit through a lot of small town America to get there.
You do. It's just I was just I'm trying not to like dunk on the movie. I'm just yeah, I just could not I could not I could not repress my frustration with
Yes.
the way this
Because
movie was made.
it's an extremely competently made movie.
Yeah.
Extremely.
Yeah.
It's a very well made movie.
Yeah. It met
in that-
every rubric item
Yeah.
for making a film.
But I'm also like I'm watching it just going like, okay, okay. Jesus Christ, won't something happen other than like these men yelling at each other?
And I think the other thing is the potential to explore so many of these threads that it kind of just there's just threads like sticking out and I'm like, where does that go? What happens in this little path here?
Yeah.
But it doesn't ever explore them. It just stays on the main road. It doesn't look at all the trails. And the next thing is when we meet the guy who is going to administer
Oh my
the
God.
lie detector tech.
This is some like Franz Kafka insanity.
Yes.
Hello, I am Herr Markt of
Yeah.
Franz Kafka
Cy
University.
Gilson.
I have been sent to you by the powers that be down in Flagstaff, Phoenix, wherever, and I will be administrating your tests. How can we trust you? Because I am the test administrator. Yeah, but why should we trust you? I don't care whether you believe in aliens or not. My job is to administer the test. But how can we trust you? Because I am the test. I was like, oh my God, this would literally drive Kafka up a wall.
The way Cy Gilson seals the whole thing is I guarantee. Oh no, it's the sheriff says. Well, listen, he guarantees. He guarantees it'll work right.
He said it works, therefore it must be 100% accurate. And then like Frank, Sheriff Frank is like best in the business, this guy.
How do you know? What's the pseudoscience of a lie detector?
How do you know? According to who? Is there a fucking Yelp review for?
Yeah. Do we have an AP top 25 list of lie detector test administrators? He's like the Alabama University of Alabama of lie detector tests.
Trust me, because I say I am trustworthy. Handshake accomplished.
Again, like I love thinking about this as Kafka-esque. And again, I think in a movie that's interested in so many of the questions that it asks but never answers,
Hmm.
it would be nice to, even if you can't answer the question, to play around with the
Yeah.
possibilities. So in this, they hint at some nefariousness with the test, like the truthiness of a lie
Hmm.
detector test. Because there's a moment where he asks young Greg, he's asking him, "What is your name? Where were you
Yeah. Yeah.
born?
Yeah.
Is my shirt white?" And two things happen. One, Greg turns around to look at him and he says, "Don't turn around." And two, his his shirt is not, it has
It
white
is.
stripes
It
on a
is blue with
mostly
white
blue
stripes.
background. And so he says some of it is, and he says yes or
Yes or
no,
no answer.
please.
Yeah.
And I
How
want
do
to
you
know, like,
answer?
what is, tell me more about how this gets registered. I want to know
Yeah.
how this test works.
If you ask a question that is not a yes or no answer, but like how, what is that on purpose? Is that part of the test? Or is that a like, again, are they kind of being fucked with?
And I want, and it never answers any of those. It doesn't really go down those paths. And it ultimately comes to one of my favorite bits of acting in this whole movie, but it gets to Alan Dallas is being asked questions. And the real tough, big question is, did you personally dislike Travis? And he starts to answer and he says yes or no. And and Dallas goes, yes and no.
And no.
And it cuts to Cy Gilson, close up of his face, and he peels off his glasses. And without saying the words, you can read his mind. And his mind says, I'll be dadgummed.
It's mhm. Throwing a monkey wrench into my perfect test. How dare a man have complicated feelings about another man? Someone call the newspapers. My entire life has been a lie.
So then they at the end of the thing they send the boys home and they said, well, one of your tests came back inconclusive. You'll have to come back tomorrow. And Mike's had enough, and he's like, you can fuck right off with that. Actually, you want to press charges? You go right ahead. We told you all we know. We agreed to do the thing. Fuck you. And the horseshoe rode in on.
Honestly, that's kind of where I would have been at like
Same.
day two.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Day two. I'd be like, are you arresting me? No. Later. You can talk to my lawyer.
yeah. And
I know this is a small town and everything, and I'm probably going to see you again, but lawyer.
uh-huh. And Cy Gilson tells Frank and the sheriff all the charts except Dallas came back truthful. And I'm like, what is your metric? Well, I want to know how the test works.
And I think this is this, and especially, with the sort of the end title credit bringing these lie detector tests. This is the point of this movie is to appeal to a very broad spectrum of barely internet literate people,
Yeah.
like like dial-up internet people being like, and the government even said they were telling the truth.
Yeah.
That's the plot of this movie.
Yeah, and again, it is 1993, and it is of an era wherein obviously really pre most people on the internet, but
Oh yeah.
also more importantly, like we were in a time in law enforcement where we were like major publications being like, hey, you know what's been really helpful to deter crime? Broken windows policing.
Oh,
You know what's been really good?
absolutely.
Profiling. You know
Yeah.
what's oh, you know what's
Yeah.
super accurate? Lie detectors.
You know who would never lie? A cop.
Yep.
Ever.
Mm-mm.
Never gonna happen.
No. They may be a little rigid, a little tough, but they always tell the
I know
truth.
they're, like this, this Frank Water. He seems like, I mean, based on the amount of turquoise jewelry that's doing the work for this costume, how could a bad guy wear that much turquoise jewelry?
My lord.
The
But
gift of time, Jeffrey.
uh-huh.
The gift of time.
So then back at home, Mike is back staying the night at his house, but sleeping on the couch, got the kiddos on his lap. And Katie, comes a phone call, and she's like, we've been getting these crank calls every night. And then Mike finally says, I'll answer. And what he hears is, collect call from Travis Walton. Will you accept?
Literally, my ears, I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, thank God.
Yeah.
Something is happening.
Yeah. Mike, help me. I I was so confused by the Travis Walton arc here in this
The
moment.
return.
Yeah, the return, because I mean I get the naked and afraid and alone hiding like next to an ice machine at a closed down like little convenient general store.
That is my favorite television show in Lifetime.
That's my top Pornhub search.
Naked and afraid and alone and hiding next to the ice machine at
Uh-huh.
this convenience store.
Yep. Oh shit. Oh good. 25 results. Excellent.
Oh, yes.
So he but I was also like in the when they go get him, so they drive through the rain, Dana and Travis's brother and Mike
Hmm.
and David maybe glasses Ned Flanders, I can't remember who all
Yes.
goes, but they go to
The
get
good
him,
guys.
the good guys. They go to pick him up, but when they go to touch him, he like can't speak. He's like,
Yeah.
"What?" It's raining, but he's like, "Water, I need water." I'm like, I feel like you could have done something here. But I'm like, how did he know to make a collect call? Like that's just a very complicated operation for a person in this state, it feels like.
Yes. Yes. That is true.
Uh-huh.
I have no answers.
Okay, great. So they get him into the bathroom, the side bathroom of this nasty gas station where he has got his mouth up on the faucet
Yeah.
of the sink, just glugging down as much water as he can get. And Mike makes a call. He's like, I got someone who can help him. And here is Jarvis from afar.
Oh my God. Jarvis from afar. That's actually a pretty good dating profile name.
It is. It is.
I'm a Jarvis from afar, but a Cecil up close.
And I don't know what this is the most, I said earlier, and it's the most inexplicable moment in this film.
It's
Like,
very frustrating, this moment, because you have this guy who's supposed to be the expert, but he's also comes off as being very pushy
yeah.
and like not. It's a lot.
Well, and from our 2025 eyes, like we're very well aware of like who the alien conspiracy redditor or 4chan type of people
Yeah,
are
yeah,
in
yeah.
this world. And the moment we meet Jarvis, we're like, yeah, that's what that guy is. Like he
Yeah,
runs a fake organization that does fake shit, and that's really it, just pre-internet age.
yeah,
And so it's shocking to me that like your first response is, I got to get the alien people, even if they were like, I work for NASA.
yeah.
What do you think is going to happen if NASA shows up? What do you think is going to happen if Carl Sagan shows up to talk to him? Like what's the end result? Buzz Aldrin, what's he going to
Hmm.
do? Like call a fucking ambulance.
Yeah.
But they have to like fight Jarvis off to get him off of get him off of Travis and get him to the hospital.
The questions he's asking are also like insane. What did you eat while you were on board? Like literally he's giving like a resort, like he went to a resort in the
Yes.
Bahamas
Uh-huh.
and somebody's come back and it's like talking to your friend at brunch. You're like, hey, what did you eat while you were there? Was it good? How'd you get there? Did you see anybody that like looked like you or was like different looking? Did you buy any clothes while you're thinking? Do they
Yeah,
have
yeah.
money?
Yeah. It's it made no sense, but we needed to see like some alien studying person torturing poor Travis.
Hmm.
Then he gets to the hospital, and Mike comes to visit him late at night after hours, right?
Bro,
Visiting hours are over.
hey, I'm not
Uh-huh.
supposed to see you, but here I am seeing you. You seem kind of catatonic, but I'm going to keep talking at you. You'll be fine. You know, I had this weird moment where like I kind of left you by the side of the road and we all drove away, but then I totally got over that and I came back and you weren't there. That was the scariest moment of my life.
I know in this year of our Lord 2025 that we are all kind of tired of the trauma narrative, or even the phrase, the trauma narrative. And it's very prevalent in horror films in the last quarter century
Certainly.
of, yeah, it turns out that the monster wasn't a monster at all, but trauma that we
Uh-huh.
suffered at some point in time. Totally fair. But I feel like we're forgetting that no one ever acknowledged
I know.
trauma. Like, if we
Like
didn't
that
invent
pendulum
red
swung real
flags,
hard in that direction for a reason.
red flags weren't invented until the 1990s, and trauma
Yeah.
wasn't invented until the
Until the
2000s.
2010s. Yeah.
Yeah, or 2010s. And it's just like the lack of awareness of PTSD is
This
bonkers to me.
this actually kind of this whole kind of thing seems very Vietnam War coded to
Yeah.
me. The like, hey, my best friend is back. I'm so happy to see you. And they're like just fucking 1,000 yards staring at the ceiling. And like, how could you possibly imagine, like, and then we bring him home and there's a big birthday cake and a fucking welcome home Travis sign and all the kids and all the neighbors and the person's like hiding under the table because nobody asked Travis if he wanted a fucking welcome home party because this
No.
welcome home party is more about the people, the community that are throwing it rather than the person to whom the party is being thrown.
Uh-huh.
In the same way that this conversation is more about Mike unburdening his guilt on his friend rather than about the person who literally 12, 8, 4 hours ago got
Yeah.
shit out of a fucking spaceship
Uh-huh.
by the side of a road. And he's like, I can't wait to like make my guilt go away that I like just left you out there, dude.
Yeah.
I gotta get, I can't live with this.
Yeah.
And you're gonna hear it right now.
It's so sad. Like, the scene made me so sad that Mike is so stunted emotionally that he just is incapable. Nobody in this movie is capable of really understanding Travis at all.
Yeah. And it's
And
also because like I think casting DB Sweeney here kind of talked about
uh-huh.
like he's so like in the beginning he is set up as the floppy optimist
Yeah.
and then to have such a transformation in which you're like, oh, the acting is great. Is like again, this movie's got its chops.
Yeah.
Like in parts.
Yeah,
In
yeah, yeah.
places.
Yeah.
But like DB Sweeney turns in this performance mostly because of how he is in this third act.
Watching him suffer is like watching a scene in a movie where like the dog gets sick,
Yeah.
right? Like, because he
Yeah.
does have that quality of like there's a helplessness to him, like a sad, and it's very hard to watch somebody who's so bright-eyed lose all the
Yeah.
life
It's
in
like
their
watching
face.
Johnny got his gun,
Yeah.
you know?
Oof. Well, when Frank or when sorry, when Mike is telling him about the guilt he feels about leaving him behind, that's kind of the first moment that like Travis turns to like glare at him
Yeah.
and he kind of questions it, and Mike gets mad and he's like, well, you son of a bitch, if you hadn't gotten out of that truck, none of this would happen.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
But it did, Mike. It did. But you are in that chair, Blanche. You are.
Oh, I wish Tennessee Williams had been around to write for this movie.
I mean, admittedly, all of Tennessee Williams' characters are escaping these two dudes. You know that,
Right,
right?
of course, of
Like
course,
Tennessee
of
Williams
course.
happened because they could not be in these rooms with these fucking assholes.
Right.
So they went to like, you know, Florida to go eat a person or have an affair with a movie star.
I like the concept that Fire in the Sky is the
It's in direct
direct
relation to
opposite
Tennessee
of
Williams.
Tennessee Williams playing.
Like Tennessee Williams saw Fire in the Sky was like, oh no,
Oh, no,
this will not stand.
no, get me my pills.
Take me to New Orleans. I mean, Mike Rogers is kind of a Stanley Kowalski, except without nuance.
Right,
You know?
right. Yeah, so he gets well, before he gets taken home, his girlfriend Dana's like, "Well, I'm gonna take you to the store through the middle of town. Here, you just wait in the car where people stare at you while I get
Hmm.
groceries for your
Hmm.
party." And these kids come up to the window, want him to sign the newspaper that has the
You're
story about him.
famous.
And
You're
he,
famous.
and I thought this was actually one of the rare kind of nice subtle details, which is of all the people who are staring at him, he responds to kids.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
kids aren't any more gentle than the adults, but they're kids. And
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 also they're not judging him. They're just like, people are talking about you.
yeah,
Not I believe you, I don't believe you,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, they
They're
seem.
just excited to meet a celebrity, you know.
And so he signs the paper, but also is kind of reading the story as he's signing the newspaper. And it's Frank that sees him and he's like, "Well, seems like you hit it big time. You could make a lot of money selling your story, couldn't you, Travis?
Who
Where
the
you been?
fuck are you, turquoise jewelry?
Also, why are you leaning on my car?"
I know. Well, because it's, you know, he's displaying dominance.
Yep. Don't touch my fucking car. I'm gonna see the body cam footage. So at this welcome home party,
This is
absolute nightmare.
hard. This is so bad. Okay, one, the first thing that makes it bad is what insanity are they serving at this party? Did you notice that picnic table? It's like Jello salad
Mhm.
and food that is, I am guessing, completely unseasoned.
There's no way it saw even a Lowry's.
I was gonna say Lowry's seasoning salt did not even enter the picture.
No, no, absolutely not. Well, we put a salt and pepper out on the table for you to season
Oh,
it yourself.
nom nom nom.
That's right.
And your salad includes tangerines
Yeah.
and red Jello.
Chicken breast, fresh out of the boiler.
Oh, thank God. Here's some ranch as a side.
Okay, so he disappears. Dana goes tracking him, finds him under the kitchenette, like holding himself, having a breakdown.
Like convulsions,
Uh-huh.
nonverbal,
And
and then
the
that syrup
syrup
touches
gets
his lip,
that log
which
cabin, tips over, it pours into his
oh,
mouth.
I love it because this moment actually has some style to it.
Yeah,
This moment has some tension and some style because you're like, what the fuck is up with this syrup? And it's this cross cut to Travis's memory. Now we've gotten only one little tiny glimpse of this, in which he's being taken through the hospital and he's getting a flashback to being on his back, gurney style, going through alien world,
yeah,
right? But now we're fully in, this is the third Rashomon
yeah,
story in which all of them are believable.
yeah. Well, this is like going to a concert of a band that had one song that you know, and then you find out I don't really like their music, but finally they're
They're finally
playing
playing
my
this song.
song,
Send me on
and
my way, on my way. And we're like, oh my God, I waited so long for you to play this song. Let's get into it so I can leave now.
yeah, and that's where we get now. We are fully in the spaceship for this final act, and this is where this movie gets really compelling and really
Yeah.
interesting. It's not without some hitches, but
Yeah.
it's doing a cool job with its special effects, with its horror.
Yeah.
This scene alone feels like a horror film. If the rest feels like whatever, CBS movie of the week.
Yeah. And I think like what you brought up before about how we kind of think of like H.G. Wells' War of the World, aliens are very like sleek, shiny, 1950s aliens are very like tin pan, like pie pan,
Mhm.
shiny, metallic, and everything on the spaceship is gloopy gloppy, organic,
Yeah.
and decaying.
Yes.
Like everything is in a state of decay.
It's very earthy, and I think like in Aliens, we saw the H.R. Giger sliminess of
Hmm.
there's an organic look to all the piping and stuff that
Yeah,
lines
yeah,
the
yeah,
walls of the ship, but like it's still metallic. It's still
yeah.
very sleek, even if it's
This is
covered in
like
goo. But this looks like they live in like a little rock formation spaceship. It's interesting.
I was gonna say like if you crack open a wasp nest,
Yes.
that's kind of what this looks like.
Yeah.
But anti-gravity, which is kind of cool.
It is interesting. So he's covered in slime in some kind of like plastic lined cocoon, it's almost like a yeah, just some type of like lining keeping him in.
Which I also like the detail of like there's some like alien like fingerprint scanner on the
Yeah.
outside of this thing. Like if the alien walked up and went like gave the thing, it would, I don't know, disappear or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But he just punches right through that motherfucker.
Yep. And he realizes he is not laying on his back. He's on his side against a wall. He's on the inside of a long vertical cave with a bunch of these pods covering the wall. Some are empty, some are covered. And he falls out, but it's 0 G, so he doesn't really fall at all.
Thank God he's holding on to that umbilical cord.
Yeah. I wasn't sure what that did. I thought for a moment like that's his air, but that's not,
It's just a thing that was in his cell, I
I
guess.
guess. But he ends up pulling himself over to another of these coves, kind of crashing into it and looking inside. There's like a decayed, cut open man inside
And his
there.
hand kind of goes like right through his like
Oh,
decaying lower half.
oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh, pardon me, ma'am.
So he gets all the way up to the top. He like follows his like truck key is in his pants pocket and it floats away.
Yes.
And he follows this key upwards and upwards, and he manages to get to this like little level clearing up above, and we see the aliens like hanging on the wall. But then he realizes,
Yes.
oh, they're just space suits that they wear.
But then one of them moves.
Uh-huh.
We have achieved horror movie.
We have, and when that thing grabs his neck, he turns around and just kicks that helmet off.
Yes,
That
he does.
motherfucker.
He like kicks that alien in the fucking face with his Carhartts.
Okay, these aliens. Have you ever seen the movie Mac and Me?
No, I don't think I did actually.
For those who grew up watching the movie Mac and Me, just imagine if Mac, the space alien,
I remember what that thing looked like.
just imagine if it grew up.
But
This
no,
is their
like
granddads.
no,
This
like
is,
them on steroids. Like if
yeah.
Michael Phelps and Mac of Mac and Me,
Uh-huh.
that's these aliens.
Yes. They're just longer, taller. They look a little wrinklier. They're but they
But they're really strong.
yeah. They're very strong. Travis scrambles to get away, and he scrambles up a rectum
Yes.
through a long, long rectum, and he almost gets out, but they grab him by his feet and drag him through the caves.
And this is kind of the flashback that we've seen him have.
Yes.
But we get more information this time, which is like what he's seeing along the tunnel is like at one point there's like a book. I was like, what? These motherfuckers have books?
Uh-huh.
There's like shoes that are kind of like floating, turning in zero gravity. A pair of glasses.
Uh-huh. Which implies in this moment the death that they've wreaked on all of these people and
Yes.
their
Like
belongings
they've been
that come with
collecting
them.
people for a while.
Yeah. Now, I think the problem with Hollywood taking this choice of alien interaction as opposed to what Patrick actually went through
Right.
is how did he get out of there? Why did they let him go?
That's why I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, did they just we never get an exit.
Are they like, he put up too much of a fight, we're just going to kick his ass out? Because it looks like they killed everyone else that
And
they
then
ever surgery.
and he gets like alien tortured,
Hmm.
in which they like cut off his clothes, they put him under this like kind of like white hefty bag. They
Uh-huh.
like put milky substance in his eye. They bring
Yep.
down a drill that turns into a needle that turns into a smaller needle that fucking pokes him in the eye.
Sure.
And then it's 10 years later,
Yeah. Like,
2 years later, and he is a fine. I'm
yeah,
like,
like he wakes up from this whole medical experiment like in the shrink's office,
yes.
which I'm like, Oh, is he unconscious the whole time from the house to the shrink's office?
Yeah.
And then in the shrink's office, surrounded by his family and the sheriff and Frank, I'm like, who is this therapist who's allowing law enforcement in?
Yeah. Well, she's not even a therapist. She's like a GP.
Right. Okay. There you go. Then she's not even, I'm like, okay, come on.
She's just a very she's like, the mother
Yeah.
figure of this movie. She's like, I'm here to talk if you need to. I know you won't, but I'm here.
Yeah. Well, to wrap up with Frank Waters, he tells the sheriff, I still think it's a hoax. And the sheriff's like,
Got away with
why,
it.
why would they want to make a hoax like this? And I'm like, both of you guys are idiots. Because to you, Frank, what do you care?
Yeah.
There's no dead body. Go home.
Yeah. There was
So
never like your unsolved, never not solved a case. I mean,
you solved
nobody
the case.
died, so there's no
Yeah.
case.
There's no law against aliens abducting us. We just
But
have
there is
never
a law
written.
against hoaxes.
Yes, I
How
guess,
dare you
sure.
pull a fast one on us and
But
tell
like, to
us?
what end? And like, anyways, to the sheriff, be like, why would they want to do that? I'm like, I don't know, sheriff. Like, that maybe is your job to find out, is this an insurance fraud scheme? Are they
Mhm.
trying to bilk the ALI out of money? Whatever. But Frank says, when they slip up, I'm on my way back to Snowflake. I'd come all the way from the North Pole if I had to. Just fucking
Okay.
chill out. Go home.
All right. How about you solve
Epilogue.
some real crimes?
Yeah. Epilogue. Travis is 2.5 years later. He's got his little son, Michael,
Yeah.
and a little daughter on the way. He's married Dana, and he's like, I'm off to work, hun. And he drives out down the highway, and then he sees like a billboard for a motorcycle and turns around, and immediately I'm like, oh, did these guys start a motorcycle company together? Because that's what they suggested at the beginning.
And it's also like the tagline of the motorcycle company is an American legend,
Uh-huh.
which I think actually is kind of some interesting because it's like this story has now become, or
Uh-huh.
the I've been abducted by aliens is an American legend.
Yes.
Because listen, having done this podcast, you don't find many European alien horror movies.
You don't. You
You
really
don't.
don't. So
They
he
don't give a fuck.
they don't. Well, he drives out to Mike's house out in the middle of nowhere. But by the way, actually, I will say one quick thing about that, which goes back to the Joseph Fink's thing about like the being drawn up into the light thing.
Yeah.
And it would make sense that in a country full of evangelical Christians,
Mhm.
that would match with
We're
the
being
alien
raptured.
story too. Like, they're very similar. The
Yeah.
rapture.
I mean, there's even like a visual. There is a visual echo in this movie. Like the first time we see David Whitlock's character after the abduction is he's in a church and there is a white light. Like behind him is a Jesus stained glass, and there's like a white light, very much like the white light we just saw.
Yeah.
So this movie's nudging you towards something.
It nudges these ideas, but it never quite moves many of them
Yeah.
along. But he drives out to Mike's house. Mike's a hermit now. We can tell because he lives farther out of town and has
That
long
divorce
hair.
went through.
Uh-huh. And Travis is like, hey, get in the car. I want to take you someplace. And he drives him out to the abduction site.
This is the most man apology. So nobody ever actually says I'm sorry.
No.
Like the
Nope.
words I'm sorry are never actually said. It's like, maybe I shouldn't have gotten out of that car that day. And he's like, don't mention it, buddy. I'm like, just say the words. Just say the words.
Yeah. Yeah. 101, just say, I'm sorry.
Like start with that. Lead
Yeah.
with that.
Step 2, we'll get into naming
Yeah.
the thing later.
Pull off the Band-Aid.
Mhm.
And once you pull it off, then you can get into the goopy bits.
Yeah. And that's it. No worries, pal.
Now,
Closing credits and the closing titles inform us that turns out they resubmitted more polygraph examinations and they all passed, including Alan Dallas.
wait, you mean the bad guy wasn't telling a lie? Impossible.
The end. Shall we rate this movie?
Yes, let's.
All right, let's talk about just rating this as in terms of horror approachability. If you're squeamish, how approachable is Fire in the Sky? On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being not at all approachable and 10 being very approachable for the squeamish, I'm going to give Fire in the Sky 9 out of 10 bottles of Mrs. Butterworth. Like, I think that final act has got some spookiness to it. It's still a little clunky 90s. It's still a little bit pulls its horror punches, but I do think the medical horror of the slime and the mouth,
Yeah.
the one kind of like body with its gut cut open, it's not
Oh
bloody,
yeah.
but it's
The Matrix
disgusting.
goes much harder though.
Yes. So I don't know, 9 out of 10 in terms of approachability. Obviously, we've got medical torture, some vague sense of body horror, and space goo, and just a lot of just throwaway racist statements that go unexamined by this film. So there's your content warning. Cecil, to speak nothing at all of approachability, how do you rate this as a horror film?
As a horror film, this one's kind of weak sauce, I gotta say. Just because the idea is scary, just because an idea is scary doesn't mean it can sustain
Yeah.
an entire film, because much of this feels like movie of the week until we get to that third act. And then I'm like, oh shit, this is crazy. And even this is kind of crazy in a sci-fi way rather than a scary way.
Yeah.
But the acting's good for what it is, and I think it's very indicative of a time in place. So for that reason, I would give it like 3 out of 10 snowflake keychains.
Perfect. Let's figure out what movie we are watching next. You've got a scare die. I've got a style die. We will roll those up and see what movie we will watch next. Cecil, on your scare die, if you roll a 1, our next movie is End of the World Scary. 2, Bad Mom, Bad Dad. 3, Technology. 4, A Wild Card. 5, Magic with a K. Or 6, Medical Horror. This was from Patreon user M. Gwyn. What do you got, Cecil?
Number 6.
Let's jump right on into medical.
We're doing it.
All right, we're going to take your medical horror and add it to the style I roll. If I roll a 1, our next movie style is black and white. If I roll a 2, it's got to be something where we're on vacation. 3, it's got to be an animation or a musical horror. 3, it's got to be a movie from specifically the year 1991. 4, it's horror homework, horror essential viewing. Or 5, it's got to be a horror comedy. Let's see what I got here. I also got a 6. I think we rolled 6 and 6 last week, Cecil.
I think we did.
But we're going to do horror comedy. Medical slash
horror?
Oh yeah, we did both of these first time on the dice. Dice are crazy, you know. All right. So we wrote down a few options that could match this possible role, and we also keep all the possible roles as lists over on Letterboxd. We're at Random Horror 9 on Letterboxd if you want to add to some of those lists and help us pick our next movie. So, what do we have on here? I put a couple on here. I think you put some on here too. I started with Tusk, Kevin Smith, Justin Long, man turns a guy into a walrus. That's medical. That's horror comedy. I believe it's Justin Long and Kevin Smith. Feels like
I know.
That's
dark comedy. I've not seen this. I'm
either.
kind of curious about it.
There's also Beyond Reanimator. We've seen Reanimator for the show, but that is medical. It is campily comic.
Yes.
Frankenhooker, another kind of campy, grossy comedy. Guy puts together body parts of sex workers that he kills to rebuild his girlfriend who's dead.
Hilarious.
Sounds very funny. There's also Death of a Unicorn. I think you put this on here.
I put this one on here because I saw in the preview. I've not seen this film, but in the preview, it seems like they're hunting these unicorns for medical purposes. So I was like, that's medical purposes.
Horror
and it has
fantasy.
Paul Rudd in it.
Oh, that seems really nice. I like him. We just watched a movie with a Paul Rudd lookalike. And then the last one on here that I just added, because I just watched this movie the other night and I had so much fun. It is The Ugly Stepsister, which is a 2025 Norwegian film. It is fairy tale folk horror. It is Grimm's, or I think Grimm wrote Cinderella. It's the original Cinderella story.
Yeah, for real.
But told from the point of view of the stepsister.
Mm-hmm.
And it has got some medical things.
Yes, it does.
Real hard into medical. Did you see this one, Cecil?
I have, yes.
Okay, yeah. So that's what we wrote down. Let's see what folks on Letterboxd had to say about medical meets horror comedy. Cecil, what do they got on there?
We've got quite a few here. Squin recommends Man with the Screaming Brain from
Fun.
2005. A mad scientist combines two men's brains into one body.
Okay.
Hot.
Hmm.
And they also recommend Body Bags from 1993 as well. An anthology where John Carpenter plays crypt keeper-esque coroner. Two of the three stories are somewhat medical, dealing with hair loss and an eye transplant.
Huh?
Eric Riley recommends Dr. Caligari from 1989. The great granddaughter of the famous psychologist is doing her own sexy mad scientist in her avant garde asylum.
Uh-huh.
This is an incredibly campy fever dream of a movie, and you will love it. I think I've actually seen the last 30 minutes of this movie,
Okay.
and I was like, what the living fuck am I watching? Like zero context, just dove into the last 30 minutes, and it's fascinating.
Okay.
Fifth Hammerer recommends Dr. X from 1932. A New York reporter hot on the trail of the moon killer interferes with an investigation into the murders. And Excision from 2012. A misunderstood teenager struggles with her abrasive Christian mother, her chronically ill sister, her aspiration to become a surgeon, and her increasingly violent psychosexual dreams. Sounds hilarious. AKVHS recommends
Yes.
The Abominable Dr. Phibes, 1971. Disfigured Vincent Price wreaks cartoonishly wild artistic revenge on the doctors that he blames for the death of his beloved wife. I don't think this one is
It is
available.
not. No,
I've
I
been trying
checked
to
for it the other day.
been trying to watch this movie for a hot minute.
Hmm.
Book of a Hugabuga says
Yes.
Rocky Horror and
Of
says I know
course.
we're leery to do Rocky Horror, but it would like it honestly it would work pretty well here. Comedy, medical.
Hmm.
I'm making a man, with long hair and a tan, and maybe an argument for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
You have to stretch comedy on that.
Yeah,
Uh, you,
yeah,
uh.
yeah. Laugh right. Elle would like to toss in Lisa Frankenstein.
Oh, of
Uh,
course.
Director debut and was really funny, despite what others say. Catherine Newton is a gem in this. There's definitely a lot of clothing style that calls back the 80s. I've seen a preview for this, and it does look really interesting. It
Hmm.
looks like a lot of fun. Samson Ceramic
Hmm.
recommends The Skeleton of Mrs. Morales, 1960. Mary Taxidermist, I love a Mary Taxidermist, suffers an unhappy marriage, and one day Pablo tells his friends that Gloria was visiting Aunt in Guadalajara, but in his laboratory, Pablo keeps a skeleton that he treats as if it were his wife.
Wow.
A
Okay.
black comedy that is regarded by critics as one of the 100 best Mexican films of all time.
Awesome. That sounds fun. I've enjoyed our journey into Mexican horror.
Oh, absolutely. Half Price Horror recommends 1981's Dead and Buried.
Hmm.
Small town of Potter's Bluff is beset by a series of bizarre mutilations, but what's really puzzling the sheriff is that the victims keep turning up alive again.
Okay.
Diamond Dogs recommends Crimes of the Future 2022.
Sure.
Due to pollution, humanity is evolving to rapidly develop new organs and body parts. It's got Viggo Mortensen, Saul Tenser, have
Yeah, this
become
is our.
famous by turning this into an art by having his new organs removed in public art shows. It's satire, not full comedy, they say, but also pretty funny
It's
parts.
Cronenberg funny.
Yes, exactly. Oh, I can't believe I didn't think of this one. Shoe Fairy recommends Tammy and the T-Rex from 1994.
Oh.
An evil scientist implants the brain of a murdered high school student, Michael, into a Tyrannosaurus. They're saying it's not a great movie, but a fun watch. I'm really want to watch this
I do
movie one
too.
day, and today might be the day.
Hmm.
AM Christians recommends Killer Condom from 1996. I mean, it's about a killer condom.
Right, right, right.
A detective and a gigolo join an investigation about a possessed condom that bites off people's penises.
Great. Yep, yep, yep.
Miranda recommends Mayhem from 2017. A virus spreads through an office complex, causing white collar workers to act out their worst impulses. Horror action comedy, very bloody, very fun, they say. And Weaponized Toaster recommends Repo Genetic Opera.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Comedy, sure,
Yeah.
yeah, I would say so. And Dr. Giggles, 1992. A madman who believes he's a doctor comes to the town where his crazy father was killed and soon begins murdering people and becoming infatuated with a teenage girl with a heart condition. Very gross,
Uh-huh.
creative deaths.
Nice. We have some fun ones on here.
Yeah.
Some ones that I'm really interested in seeing.
Yeah.
I will say we have a lot where it's like the mad scientist has created a thing, like a
Hmm.
Frankensteinian sort of deal.
Yep.
Like I think Reanimator's going to get into that.
Yeah.
Uh, Tusk feels like it's a slow evolution of a person like throughout
Sure.
the movie, so I think it's going to be an ongoing medical procedure. I think Ugly Stepsister, probably of all the ones that I'm familiar with or got a good sense of, really is the horror is the actual medical procedures done in the film. Um,
Yes, I absolutely agree with that.
I'm interested. I was really intrigued by Eric Riley suggested Dr. Caligari.
I it
Sounded
is
wild.
the campest thing you're ever going to
Okay.
see.
Okay.
Like it really is.
I'm not mad about that, but it could be. It depends.
After watching like the straightest dudest movie,
Uh-huh.
I kind of want to watch something like Dr. Caligari or Tammy
Ta-
and the T-Rex.
Tammy and the T-Rex.
You know, or I mean, I had a good time with Ugly Stepsister, and I think I would have an
Uh-huh.
interesting time talking about it. But I'm also like, I kind of like watch movies I haven't seen.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do know
Rather
what
than
you're saying.
rewatching a movie that I saw like a month ago.
Right. Yeah, same here. I'm anxious to talk about that for the show because I want to talk about that movie, but I
Maybe like
also
next year.
watched it literally 4 nights ago.
Yes, exactly. Like, let me rest, okay?
Hmm. But I do highly recommend if you can handle some medical
Oh yeah,
horror
for
and
sure.
gore. What a fun movie! That lead actor's so good in The Ugly Stepsister. Um, yeah, Dr. Caligari and Tammy and the T-Rex both look wild to me.
Out of the two of them,
Uh-huh.
I think I'm leaning more towards Tammy and the T-Rex.
Okay.
Just because, Dr. Listen, having only seen the last 20 minutes, I am dying to know how this movie starts, why this movie starts, what the fuck happens. But I think it might be a WTF tunnel that has no end. And I think Tammy the T-Rex might be a little more like of a focused conversation.
Yes.
Because Dr.
Um,
Caligari is like very much like showing up at avant-garde performance art.
Tammy and the T-Rex has got it looks like it's on Pluto with ads.
Okay.
It's a little sparse. It was on Shutter like last year
Yes,
before.
I know, right?
Um
Also, honorable mention to the skeleton of Mrs. Morales.
oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna pull that up. That one is
Also,
even
honorable
harder to
mention.
find. Yeah.
Oh, damn it.
Damn it.
Also, honorable mention to Beyond Reanimator, which I've never seen. I've only ever seen the first one. That's a classic. I feel like maybe not as much of a classic as the first one, but
Uh-huh.
it's, you know, kind of a heavy hitter.
Beyond Reanimator looks like it is at least available for rent.
Okay.
Um from YouTube and whatever. This is also, yeah, we've got Jeffrey Combs again in this movie. It doesn't look
Hmm.
like it's going to be very good, but I will say to support Beyond Reanimator as horror comedy and medical, I think it's going to lean way more horror than Tammy and the T-Rex or
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Caligari or even Lisa Frankenstein, which is another one
Sure, I
we
know.
hadn't thought of. So maybe that's the play is Beyond Reanimator. It's going to give us camp. It's not going to
Yes.
be as ladylike as Tammy and the T Rex or
Yeah.
as or Lisa Frankenstein or Ugly
Yeah.
Stepsister, um,
That's
or
true.
Dr. Caligari. Like
Yeah.
those are all like kind of women's centric stories
I also, I mean, oh, I'm so torn here because I do kind of want to find out what happens at the beginning of Dr.
of Dr.
Caligari.
Caligari. I kind of am fascinated with this.
Do you want to go down the weird tunnel, or do you want to go down the
Cecil, you
like?
never have to ask me if I want to go down the
I
weird
mean,
tunnel.
like it's
Oh,
the weirdest of tunnels versus the like people say this movie's crazy, and you watch and you're like, oh yeah, that was kind of crazy.
Uh-huh.
That was all right.
Er
That was crazy.
Eric Riley, who's been contributing to our show through Patreon and Letterboxd for as long as I can remember doing either, always has great ideas and suggestions. And they say this is an incredibly campy fever dream of a movie, and you will,
Yeah.
all caps, love it.
I think Jeffrey, let's do it.
I'd say let's do it. It's just, let me just one last check.
Just double check it's available. I think it's on Shutter
I
actually.
think it is on Shutter too. Dr. Caligari is indeed on Shutter. It's also the easiest of all these movies we just mentioned to actually get to.
Love it.
Sold. Thank you, Eric Riley, for that suggestion. I'm so excited to love this movie. I hope you are right. I want a fever dream in the weird tunnel. Thank you all for listening. Thank you, Cecil, for talking with me. If you have thoughts on Fire in the Sky or ideas for other movies that would have been good horror comedy meets medical horror, let us know at Random Horror 9 on Blue Sky, Instagram, or on Patreon, where we have public discussion threads for each episode, and you don't have to be a paying member to participate. So watch Dr. Caligari over on Shudder, the 1989 movie, with us this week, and come on back next Tuesday for a new episode. Have a restful night with no wrinkly aliens feeding you motor oil or nothing. Boo.
Ooh.